From eerie footprints found on rocks in the Grand Canyon and gold uncovered with a dried-up river to vampire skeletons and screaming mummies, here are the strangest discoveries made by archaeologists. Fossil footprints. Although the actual track maker for the footprints may never be known for certain, the Grand Canyon trackways preserve the travel of a very early terrestrial vertebrate. The measurable characteristics of the tracks and trackways indicate a primitive animal with short legs and a massive body. The creature walked on all four legs, and each foot possessed 5 clawless digits, and it was supposedly living about 313 million years ago. And with this knowledge, this fossil is considered to be the oldest fossil to ever be found in the Grand Canyon. Anunnaki Nephilim King. This is just one of the kings that was kept biologically alive, whatever that means, and there are others which have been awakened and have been relocated. The eyes are still looking up, and they seem to appear okay, and they have a glass-like appearance to them. The body is in good shape, and the colored lights around the top of the sarcophagus are on. It's a 12,000-year-old king that's been kept artificially alive in a tomb within a sarcophagus. Gold. The Euphrates River, once a symbol of prosperity and abundance, is now a shadow of its former self. The river's decline has been exacerbated by regional politics, drought, and human misuse. But amidst this gloom, a ray of hope has emerged. In a recent video, gold miners were seen panning for gold in the river, and what they found was astounding. Gold nuggets were scattered all around like pebbles, indicating a vast gold source in the area. But as the river continues to dry up, time is running out to reap the rewards of this hidden treasure. Ancient paintings. One of the most intriguing archaeological discoveries in recent times is a video showing ancient paintings found in the Grand Canyon. These stunning artworks were hidden deep within the canyon's walls, depicting scenes of hunting, warfare, and religious ceremonies. The sophistication and complexity of these paintings suggest that the people who created them had a rich cultural heritage and deep understanding of their environment. Some of the images and symbols bear a striking resemblance to those found in other parts of the world, raising questions about connections between these distant civilizations and the people who once called the Grand Canyon home. Trilobites. Trilobites can be considered as one of the coolest discoveries to be made in the Grand Canyon, and for good reason. These extinct marine arthropods first appeared over 500 million years ago, making them older than the dinosaurs. They lived for around 300 million years before becoming extinct, just before the dinosaurs appeared on Earth. In a recent video, the remains of trilobites were found in the Great Grand Canyon. It's incredible to think that these creatures roamed the Earth for so long, and now we have the opportunity to discover more about them. Helicoprion. Have you seen the latest discovery in the Grand Canyon? A team of scientists has found the remains of an ancient shark-like creature called the Helicoprion, also known as the buzzsaw killer. This creature was a top predator in its time, with a saw-like jaw that is used to slice through its prey. It could go up to 30 feet long, making it one of the largest river monsters to ever exist. Its sinister appearance and powerful bite make it a fascinating and terrifying creature to learn about. Critter footprints. If you couldn't believe the footprints we showed you before, we have another one for you. This time, we're taking a closer look at the Coconino Sandstone in the Grand Canyon. Old Earth geologists have long believed this sandstone was formed in an ancient desert, but geologist Dr. John Whitmore has impressive evidence for a global flood. In this video, we see Dr. Whitmore tracking some long-extinct amphibians or reptiles that left their footprints in the Coconino Sandstone. These footprints offer fascinating clues to the world that existed thousands of years ago, before humans ever roamed the Earth. Mysterious artifacts. Now, this is one interesting discovery that will leave you amazed. While looking for minerals, an explorer stumbled upon a cave entrance located 1,486 feet down from a cliff. The discovery led to a team of archaeologists from the Smithsonian being sent to the site. The explorers found hundreds of rooms with oval-shaped doors and round air spaces for ventilation. Inside, they discovered artifacts like weapons, copper instruments, and much more. And all of them were literally hundreds of thousands of years old. Isn't that fascinating? A cave. This tomb, discovered in the Grand Canyon, is one of the largest, with walls sloping back at a 35-degree angle and filled with levels of mummies, each with a hewn shell and small seat at the center, complete with copper cups and shattered sword parts. The urns and cups on the lower levels are crude, while those on the upper shelves are more elaborately designed, indicating a later period of civilization. All the mummies found so far are male, hinting that the surrounding area was the warriors' barracks. The culture and people who resided in that city remain a mystery, but archaeologists are on the case. Sea Dragon. In February 2021, a man working on the reserve's reservoir noticed something peculiar protruding from the muddy earth. As he carefully brushed away the sediment, he realized it was not just any ordinary rock. It was the fossilized remains of a prehistoric creature. Further investigation confirmed that it was an ichthyosaur, a massive warm-blooded predator that once roamed the seas. This particular specimen was the largest of its kind ever found, sending shockwaves through the scientific community and leaving everyone wondering what other secrets the reserve might hold. Chinese giants. In 2017, archaeologists discovered skeletal remains of remarkably tall individuals in Shandong, China. These giants are thought to have lived around 5,000 years ago. The human-like bones were impressively large and sturdy, with some reaching heights of up to 1.9 meters. Along with the bones, pottery and several jade items were also found. This archaeological discovery is particularly noteworthy as the Chinese population is not generally known for its height. Alien skull. An archaeologist from Peru, who's highly regarded, has reportedly uncovered what appears to be the mummified remains of an extraterrestrial creature. The peculiar creature boasts a triangular-shaped skull that is almost as large as its 20-foot-long body, raising questions about its plausibility. The unusual features of the skull have led to speculation that this could indeed be an alien being, and researchers have been unsuccessful in linking its physical characteristics to any known human ethnic groups, further adding to the extraterrestrial theory. Footprint of God. Besides the skeletal remains, another compelling evidence for the existence of giant humans are footprints. About a century ago, a hunter in South Africa stumbled upon a colossal footprint, which locals dubbed as the Footprint of God. This footprint measured 1.2 meters in length and suggests that its owner must have towered at a staggering height of 27 feet. Interestingly, there are no visible marks or carvings on the rock, indicating that it was not stepped on while in a molten state. Serapeum of Alexandria. In the video, we see a group of archaeologists exploring the Serapeum of Saqqara, an underground complex in Egypt. As they navigate the dark tunnels, they come across massive stone boxes, each weighing more than 70 tons. These boxes are believed to have held the remains of sacred bulls, but their size and precision construction leave many questions unanswered. Could this be evidence of a lost ancient civilization with advanced technology? The archaeologists speculate and marvel at the mystery of the Serapeum. Vampire skeletons. Get ready to experience some serious chills as we take you to Bulgaria for a discovery that will send shivers down your spine. Can you even imagine witnessing someone stab the heart of a dead person in order to prevent them from coming back to life and feasting on human blood? During excavations near the Black Sea, a group of Bulgarian archaeologists stumbled upon the remains of several medieval giants. These massive skeletons had been pierced through the chest with iron rods, a gruesome practice believed to prevent them from turning into vampires. Timbuk Cave. Known by various names like the cabin mummies or Vengan mummies, the fire mummies of the Philippines are a mysterious group whose exact locations are kept secret by the government due to past thefts. These mummies, believed to have been created by the Ibaloi tribe between the 1200s and 1500s, were mummified before death using a salty drink, fire, tobacco smoke, and herbs, and then buried in Timbuk caves. The practice died out after Spanish colonization in the 1500s, and today the mummies remain in their natural caves. Bhima Stove. In this video, a huge pot is shown which was known as Bhim's Chariya from the Hindu epic Mahabharata. Bhima was renowned for his giant appetite, and during their exile period in the forests, he used to eat at this very pot while staying near Assam. At least that's how the whole story goes. It was said that at times, half of the total food consumed by the Pandavas was eaten by him, which gave rise to his name of Vrikodara. Bhima played a crucial role in Hinduism history, and this pot is a fascinating reminder of his legendary appetite. Dinosaur. So in southwest China's Yunnan province, they stumbled upon two dinosaur fossils during road work in 2015. They're known as Lufengosaurus magnus and Lufengosaurus hunae. One of the dinos is about 5 meters long, but it's believed that it could have reached a length of 9 meters in its prime. The other fossil was discovered around 500 meters away from the first one. These prehistoric creatures roamed the Earth about 108 million years ago. The scientists who made the discovery are planning to further investigate the area to see if they can find any more valuable fossils hidden deep in the vicinity. The Screaming Mummy. Have you ever heard of something scarier than a mummy? Well, get ready to be spooked, because a screaming mummy might just do the trick. I know it sounds crazy since mummies are typically dead, but get this. The mummification process left this particular person's mouth wide open. It turns out they were killed, and the mummification team wanted to preserve the body exactly as they found it to show how violent the death was. Lake of Skeletons. This little gem, Rupkund Lake in India, has an eerie past. The lake was home to around 200 human skeletons, which led some to believe they belonged to Japanese soldiers who perished during their journey. It took over 70 years for scientists to finally uncover the truth. After carbon dating the remains, it was revealed that they were from the year 850 AD. As it turns out, the skeletons belonged to Indian pilgrims who were traveling through the area and were likely killed during a massive hailstorm. Due to the high altitude of the lake, the remains, including bones, meat, and some flesh patches, were remarkably well preserved. Mummified child. Now that we're talking about cool stuff discovered in different places, then we gotta talk about this one too. Researchers stumbled upon a lady who was frozen solid, along with some tools at a whopping height of 22,000 feet in the air. What's even crazier is that this lady is estimated to be around 500 years old. Now, the big question is, how did she end up there? Was she some sort of sacrifice? And if so, why was she in such a peaceful position? The researchers aren't sure, but there's a chance she was already dead before she got there. So, what do you guys think happened? A dinosaur fossil. What might appear to be like a rock is actually a remarkable discovery in the world of paleontology. Researchers revealed an 18-foot-long nodosaur, a type of armored dinosaur, which has never been seen before. The creature named Borealopelta is heavily armored with massive shoulder spikes and a long tail, weighing up to 3,000 pounds. It's a major discovery, marking the existence of a brand new species that once roamed the Earth. This creature is truly a shield of the North, as its name suggests. Frozen cubs. Scientists found not just humans and big animals, but also tiny lion cubs. In the Arctic, they discovered a male lion cub alone in a cave, but then they found a female lion cub nearby when they looked around. Despite being 28,000 years old, the cubs were in great shape. Sadly, they likely died from starvation, unable to find a way to survive. Even though it's fascinating for researchers to learn about these discoveries, we can't help but feel sad for those little cubs and how they met their end. Bigfoot skull. When it comes to Canada, it is a treasure trove of archaeological wonders that will leave you fascinated. One such discovery is a skull that left scientists scratching their heads. They initially thought it belonged to a human or a monkey, but it was too large to fit either category. Some even speculated that it could be the mythical Bigfoot. However, after years of research, it was found to be an ancient relic dating back hundreds of years. But the question still lingers. Could Bigfoot have existed in Canada's forests centuries ago? Who knows? Maybe the legend lives on. Ancient Lady Di. One of the coolest mummies in the world is the Lady Di. She's super well preserved, and even though she might look a bit swollen and weird, her skin is still soft to the touch. I mean, I haven't touched her myself, but the scientists who've studied her say so. She was found in China, and she's a total treasure for people who are into ancient history. What's really freaky and fascinating is that her hands and legs can still move, and her internal organs are still all there. She even has blood in her veins. Ancient Zoo. We used to think that ancient people were incapable of more than just building pyramids, but turns out they were already living it up in style. Archaeologists recently uncovered a whole bunch of animal graves that point to the existence of a pretty fancy zoo back in the day. And we're not just talking about your average farm animals. We're talking exotic creatures like dogs, a baby hippo, a cow and calf, and even an elephant. Red and blonde mummies. Archaeologists have a pretty unique job compared to us regular folks. For instance, when they stumble upon a mummy, they'll scrutinize every little detail, like the color of their hair and skin. It's pretty wild, but that's how they uncovered these red and blonde mummies. Can you believe it? Turns out people way back when used to dye their hair with henna for special occasions. And that's probably what these two did too. Pregnant mummy. Isn't it crazy to think that a mummy legend actually turned out to be a pregnant woman? Well, this is exactly what happened here. She was young, maybe in her 20s or 30s, and when they mummified her, they took out her organs, embalmed them, and put them back in. But they left the fetus completely untouched. This is something that hardly ever happens, and it's called coffin babies. It's pretty mind-blowing, and it's been shocking people all over the world. A dragon. In a Chinese village, a peculiar and chilling discovery was made. The residents of Zhangjiakou City uncovered a dead dragon with a skeleton measuring at least 60 feet. The skeletal creature had two little arms in the center and a head that eerily resembled a cow skull. Unlike Western mythology's depiction of dragons, traditional Chinese dragons fly by swimming through the air, and the anatomy of the skeleton convinced some locals that the remains could indeed be a dragon. This discovery left us all wondering if dragons are more than just a myth. The Hidden City. Back in 1963, a man renovating his house near Turkey's Nevşehir province stumbled upon something incredible: an ancient underground city. He originally thought it was just a tunnel, but it turned out to be an entire city with kitchens, bedrooms, a school, a church, and even a cellar for making wine and oil. Believe it or not, nearly 20,000 people lived there, and the city was surrounded by stone gates to protect from invasion. What really amazed archaeologists was the impressive architecture. The city had a ventilation system and a well to provide clean water to all its citizens. City of Maya. Covered perfectly by nature, overgrown by the jungle, the lost city was once a thriving capital of the Mayan civilizations. However, things changed when an archaeologist who was looking for the white jaguar ventured too deep into the jungle and stumbled upon the city. It was made up of step platforms topped by masonry structures, ranging from grand temple pyramids and palaces to individual house mounds. It was discovered that the city was about 1,100 years old. The mystery of how it remained so well preserved for so long still puzzles many. Otzi the Iceman. Otzi is like a super old mummy dude who's been preserved like nobody's business. He was from way back in 3300 BC and was a Somali fella. What's cool is that when scientists checked out his body, they found out that he had some wounds. And get this, they think he was actually murdered, but they couldn't figure out why or who did it, so that's still a big mystery. Sutton Hoo. Sutton Hoo is said to be England's most glamorous archaeological site. In 1939, a lady named Edith Pretty bought the Sutton Hoo estate, and soon after hired a local archaeologist, Basil Brown, to do some digging. Lo and behold, they discovered a ship burial, a treasure trove fit for a king. Inside the ship, they found the remains of a king and all of his bling, including gold coins, silver dishes, and precious stones. The helmet alone was so fancy that Lady Gaga would be jealous. Historians believe Sutton Hoo was the resting place of the royal dynasty of East Anglia, who claimed descent from Woden himself. The Lost Gold City. Just when we thought lost and found stories couldn't get any crazier, a whole city has been unearthed. This amazing discovery was called the Golden City because it was built during Egypt's Golden Age way back in 1391 BC. The city has been buried under sand for thousands of years, but it's been worth the wait. They found all kinds of cool stuff like statuettes, pottery, jewelry, and more. It's definitely one of the most important discoveries in recent times. A puppy. So there was this guy searching for tusks in eastern Siberia when he stumbled upon a frozen puppy. At first, he didn't think much of it, but he decided to alert the authorities. When the researchers arrived and examined the puppy, they discovered that it was a whopping 18,000 years old. The little pup was incredibly well preserved, with its fur and teeth still intact. It was definitely a valuable find, just not the type of treasure the man was hoping for. The cause of the puppy's death is still a mystery, though. Tutankhamun Tomb. When Tutankhamun passed away at the young age of 19, he became one of the most well-known pharaohs in Egyptian history. Sadly, he didn't have any children, so there was no direct family line to carry on his legacy. But now, thanks to the work of Egyptologists worldwide, we know that Tutankhamun was actually buried with the remains of 2 fetuses in a sarcophagus. After studying the evidence, many experts believe that these fetuses were likely his twin children. Strange fish. Let's check out this funky fish the locals stumbled upon near the shores of Egypt. Luckily, they whipped out their cameras and captured it all in its glory. It was cruising around in crystal clear water, and as far as we know, it's the only one of its kind around. If you take a closer look, it kind of resembles a manta ray, but it's got its own unique vibe going on. So what do you think it is? Drop a comment and let us know.